Brew Strong is brought to you by Blichmann Engineering, home of the top-tier brewing stand. Visit them online at blichmannengineering.com.
Brewers, it's time for the beer radio you've been looking for. This is the show that dispels myths, tackles the toughest topics, and makes no apologies for geeking out on beer. Hosted by two guys that drink before they think, Jamil and John Palmer. This is Brew Strong.
Hey, howdy, hey, my brewing brothers and sisters.
Woohoo! Oh, wait, wrong show. Greetings.
Welcome from the Heartland.
What is that? You're like,
The Hoosier Heartland.
I was reading something on Reddit a minute ago and got confused.
Okay. All right. Speaking of confused, we have our fine sponsor in the studio. That's John Blichmann.
Wow, talk
it's
about
the only
that left turn
segue I could use.
How about that? Great to be back.
Yeah, apparently you enjoyed being with us so much. Ye have flown out again.
I enjoyed being with John. It was great. Oh, and you too.
You really like Steve.
I just came out to get the beer.
You sent him a fine gift.
I did send him.
Yeah, thanks, man. I really needed this. I'll never pour shit all over the board again. Thanks for the safety cup.
Here, you have to hold it up in front of the camera. Or the if you're listening
beautiful.
live, you can actually see the video live too and see Steve in his fine Hello Kitty sippy cup. That's pretty sweet. He's drinking actual beer from the sippy cup.
I'm sure the Hello Kitty Corporation approves of that.
Yeah, does that mean I get a sponsorship now?
I can pretty much guarantee this is the first time Heretic beer has been consumed from a sippy cup.
I don't know, you
You
have quite a Japanese fan base.
There's a lot of people.
Well,
on
Hello
this
Kitty
planet.
cup, yes. I'm sure in Japan, plenty of Heretic beer consumed from Hello Kitty cups.
Yeah.
But sippy cup, that's the difference.
Oh, okay.
It's a thermos, apparently.
Safety cup. It's a safety
Genuine
cup.
thermos brand.
Nice.
Nothing
No,
but the best.
you spared no expense. That thing's probably
This is nice.
$30.
Nothing but the best for the Ouija board.
Seriously, you haven't priced stuff for kids. I bet you that thing's $30, 25, something like that, something ridiculous like that.
I think I got it off Amazon for about $18. Amazon Prime.
Right, $18. I'm telling you, they're not cheap.
Nothing but the best.
That's
Porno
quality.
Steve.
Thank you.
It's probably like BPA free and all that sort of thing.
It is.
Yeah, see? He cares about you. You can tell.
Yeah, man.
Well, and I'll tell you, our fine sponsor, John Blichmann, he cares about you because he's paying for the show, so you don't have to. He's putting his money forward just because he thinks there's some value to the show, I think. That we actually do some good for the community, and that's what he's all about. He
That's
puts,
right.
All that innovative mind that he's got into improving your brew day. He's, passionate about homebrewing. You'll see him at all the homebrewers conferences. So if you get a chance, get on the website, blichmannengineering.com. There's a B, an N, like a G. There's a .com there.
Couple of
Blichmann,
umlauts.
Yeah, a couple of umlauts. Just Google Blichmann Engineering. That should get you pretty close.
Look
Blichmann
for the
Engineering.
lick in the middle.
Yeah, look for the lick in the middle. And that should get you there. Check out all the stuff. They got a nice website with a lot of good stuff on it. And make sure you email John. I'm pretty sure it's John at BlichmannEngineering.com. Just flood his email box with your appreciation for all he does for us homebrewers.
We're very fancy with email addresses at our company. We've had to decline hiring people because they have the same name as somebody else. I'm sorry, we already have a Steve at BlichmannEngineering.com.
Right.
We can't have another one. You can't be hired.
Is that the reason you didn't hire Steve?
Oh.
We're all about
I'm just saying.
consistency, and we're really, really bad about symmetry. Things have to be very symmetric. It's awful.
When we had like 4 employees, we just used first names, right? That's how we initially set it up. very quickly I realized, no, that's really stupid because we're going to run out. So I went to, first initial, last name for everybody. And it's like, people are like, well, what's your email address? It's like, can you not guess? I mean, really, it's not like it's complex or anything. You can figure out my Gmail address, my Heretic address, my, Brewing Network address. Pretty easy. There's no hidden agenda there. All right. I'm tired.
Already.
Well, what's your day been like?
My day has not been that bad, but all last week I spent in Boston.
Oh.
Boston. I went to Boston, yes. And it was wonderful. I'll tell you. A little chilly, but I like that. Coming from California where it's 74 all the time and I'm sweating my stones off. Boston was really nice for that. People were great. Beer, the New England beer scene, that's some good stuff. They got a lot of great beer out there. And again, I don't want to upset anybody, but by calling out a couple of my favorites, I am not implying that the rest of it was crap. They tend to take things a little personally there. And so I want to say some of my favorites. What Brewing Company. Oh, they had some good ones. They had their Peeper Pale Ale, which I don't know if that was, what Peeper means, but yeah. They had Lunch.
Jamil, I think you could do a whole show on that.
On peeping? Yes. They had Lunch IPA, which I thought was really good, too.
Name. Yeah.
And the one that I thought was just absolutely sublime, I thought it was perfect, was they had a nitro-served Mean Old Tom Stout. Oh, it's fantastic. The nice balance between the roast and the sweetness and the creaminess and everything. I thought that was flawless. I thought that was absolutely outstanding. I had multiple pints of each. Maine Brewing Company. I thought that they were really killing it. Really, really delicious beers. Everything I tried from them I really liked. And another one that I really liked that I must have drank 6-8 pints of was Wormtown IPA. And,
Wormtown?
They're from Worcester. And
I've heard of them.
I don't know if Worcester is called Wormtown. I know Boston's Beantown, so maybe Worcester's Wormtown.
So you had a nice sober trip.
Oh, no. I drank more in that week in Boston like you wouldn't believe. So I flew out there with a couple of my guys, Joe
so this
and Ryan.
wasn't one of your Greyhound bus trips, Jamil?
No. We flew third class. We took a taxi. We stayed in a hotel, and that's quality travel right there. And actually, we stayed in a nice hotel in the heart of Boston. And but the first thing we did was drank a bunch of pints, and then we worked the next day and drank a bunch of pints, and then we worked the next day and drank a bunch of pints, and then. So we would go to these events and do events, pint nights, and we'd have a bunch of pints. And then when we get back towards the hotel, there was this funky little fake Irish bar, but it had Wormtown on. And so we'd go there and drink like 3 pints of Wormtown after drinking at these events. And but it was fantastic. I tell you, the people were great. I was blown away by how clean and organized the bottle shops were. I kind of noticed that, man, these are nicer than some of the places in California. Every place they took me to, I don't know if they were just taking me to the nice ones, but they were clean, they were well organized, the staff was knowledgeable. It was like, wow. Everything was labeled properly. It was just amazing. I also noticed a lot of beer engines, and really cool. We went to this one place, Stoddard's, which I've heard of before, and we had 5 beers on and a cask of beer. They blew like everything, and when the keg kicked, they would disconnect it and put it up on the bar. So you see it's cool. Like dead soldiers on the bar, and it was like, dang, that's impressive. I'd never seen anybody do that. That was really cool. So yeah, we had a great time. We got a great distributor out there, Atlantic, and they're going to kill it for us. I mean, we're in that market, and then I'm planning another trip back probably beginning of May. I think I got to coordinate with everything else. It's difficult.
The troubles.
The troubles of a world traveler like myself. But I was just beat to death by, it's a long flight with connections and everything. By the time I get back home Saturday night, I was done.
Well, if you ever need a pit stop in the middle of the country,
in the pit of the country,
hit Indiana.
All right.
You're always welcome.
Thank you.
I get to sit next to this just massive dude on the way. And it's not the short flight. It was a long leg.
Yes.
And you know how you always...
He's hanging over into your seat.
Yeah, I only got to use about half of the seat I bought. And fortunately, it was an aisle seat, so I got
He had a roll or two hanging over into you?
No, it was more the linebacker shoulders. I mean, he was just a big dude.
Just like me.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay.
Why couldn't it be some...
I have some pretty broad shoulders, I'm just saying.
Little female.
I have a lot of problems.
I have all the space I need.
There are some big females, I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah, I've been in there. I've been in that situation, too, where you're just crowded. It's like, really?
Where they're pressing ham all over you? Yeah.
You know how they have your suitcase that it's got to go in that little bin?
Uh-huh.
They got to take people's asses and make sure that
it fits in the seat. There you go. Right. If your ass won't fit through this doorway, you cannot get on the plane. They should have a width thing for people. I don't care if they horizontally, vertically, or whatever you would call the forward to backward dimension. They can be as big that way as they want.
Yeah. Or at least they should.
Side to side, your left to right,
your
horizontal hold. Yeah, right.
Well, they need to take shoulder room into account, too. I mean, when you're getting your seat, make sure that there's a scrawny person in between.
Yes. You should check the box, scrawny or not scrawny. My shoulders do not fit in any airplane seat. First class, yeah. But smaller than that, I hang over onto either side of the seat.
Yeah.
And when you get two or three of us lined up, we all just kind of accordion out into the aisle, and they get whacked by the cart as it comes by. And they're like, get back into your seat. And you have to, lay in each other's laps. I absolutely hate it. See, the only reason I got to earn any money is so I can fly first class. I cannot stand flying coach anymore.
Yeah, especially in the back.
And then there's the hygiene issue. They really need to... those sniffers they have for explosives and all that other stuff? They need one for general
for BO.
overload of BO. Yeah.
Yes.
That should be another thing that they do.
The flight home from Miami, there was a very nice man next to me who was full-blown Asian. Not just a little bit Asian, but full-blown. And he was eating sushi on the plane next to me.
Sure it wasn't Justin?
No, it was so gross. Usually I'm okay with sushi, but it had been in there for a while. It was extra fishy.
Extra eely?
It was so gross.
A little bit of unagi on there?
Probably.
Oh, it's lovely.
It was cool. Yeah. Can I switch seats?
I sat next to a woman coming back from China. She was not Chinese. And every time she lifted her arm, it was like rotted fried chicken.
That's horrible.
Oh, God.
Maybe there was some in there.
That was the description. It was.
Maybe that's where she was storing her lunch. You never know.
You guys can do an entire show on this.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Shall we move along?
We call it Fly Strong. Travel Strong.
And we're having a delicious Heretic English mild.
Yes. Modified Clyde.
It's delicious.
Made with the West Yorkshire yeast. I'm telling you.
Yorkshire.
Yes. All right. So let's move on with the show because we could talk for hours, which we do every time we meet. I'm not sure anybody could learn anything from our discussions, but
they'd be entertained.
Well, if they had enough to drink, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. We were going to talk about you did some interesting. So John is full of great creative experiments. Both the Johns, and a lot of interest in figuring things out, debunking myths, stuff like that. And one of the things that always comes up is, okay, so foam forming proteins that form your head retention. we always say, well, they get used up, right? So if they get used up, then it should be possible to use them all up and prove that they get used up, and then it shouldn't have any head retention anymore, right? So Monsieur Blichmann, just thought, well, why don't I give this a quick try and see what happens? Let's see how long it takes to foam this up and use it up. And so we did some research. We did a little studying. I say we. I mean all of us together.
Jamil and John did the technical research. I just foamed the shit out of the beer.
With me just saying, hey, contact Bamforth. That was my effort on behalf of everyone. I'm just saying I threw in a little bit of work there.
Yeah. Some sage advice.
Right. I'm like, ask Bamforth. That's my advice. That's my brewing advice right there.
Ask somebody who knows what the hell they're doing.
Right. Well, Bamforth is quite the expert on foam. He's called the Pope of Foam and written a book on foam, and he knows his crap. And, they do some serious study on foam and really what happens. And I think, a lot of people are wondering, because one of the other things that was interesting was somebody took a beer and added a ton of alcohol, like a ton of ethanol to some beer, and then, shook it up and said, look, the head retention is the same. And so that was one of the things that I always wondered about on head retention, whether it's truly alcohol or something else, because I always thought that people say, big beers, they don't have good head retention. I was thinking that, it's because the yeast were stressed or fermentation was stressed, and that's why it doesn't have good head retention. It's not because the alcohol level was high. If you take a pure alcohol and add it to it, it doesn't really affect it, I always thought.
Yeah, so, I think that's generally true.
I thought that was interesting. So I think there are some myths to be debunked still, but I thought it was great that John's not just about making equipment. Well, actually, John was concerned because you've got a new invention, and you were concerned about foaming. And so, not that I get any pre-vision of any stuff. You keep me out of that loop. But
I just like you to be surprised.
Surprised. You like the look of surprise on my face.
I do.
Is that why you always reach around when you meet me and give me that squeeze?
The cat's out of the bag.
Yes.
Literally.
But you're working on a new invention, a new product, and you wanted to check to see how, if there was some foaming, whether that'd be damaging to it or not. And so you went and see. This is the kind of thing you do that makes you a great inventor and manufacturer of brew gear.
I brew beer and I drink beer.
And why people should trust you for your products. Now, I'm not saying everything you ever came up with was like the greatest invention to mankind ever, but they're really solid things that's tested by somebody that brews and, wants to make the best beer possible. Not somebody that's looking to make a quick buck, but somebody that's trying to make a living based off of making the best equipment, the most innovative equipment that improves brewing.
That's right.
Which is the
my
thing I
wife
love
makes
about
the
you.
quick buck. I'm just making it look like I'm really working hard.
Right. She is your sugar mama. You
the
are taken care of.
That's right.
You seem like a kept man. I'm just saying.
You were a kept man.
Yes I am.
I got no problem with this.
I know. I don't either. Yeah, that's fine. Heck, give me a mama with lots of money. I'm good. I'll just sit around and drink and do whatever I need to keep her happy.
I'm right there with you.
Right. Unfortunately for my wife, she wants me to have a job. That's the thing I have to do to keep her happy. So, yeah, go figure.
I have the appearance of a job.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing. I think I kind of have the appearance of the job, too. I actually have her working harder than I work. That's the secret right there. And it just looks like I work hard, but she actually works harder than I do at the business. So,
I think we got the same gig going on.
There you go. All right, let's do this. Take a short break. When we come back, we're going to get into foam experiments and talk all about foam, how foam actually is formed, and what happens when the foam breaks down, and all that stuff right after this.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blichmann Engineering has the answer. The Blichmann Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on two gorgeous Blichmann Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blichmann Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blichmann Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlichmannEngineering.com and brew with Blichmann quality on your new Brew Easy. Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making. When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a Certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Back to the beer guys that make other beer guys look like wine guys. Brew Strong.
All right, we're back. Talking to my good friend John Blichmann here in the studio. We got our Johnny Palmer. We've got our Steve. We got our Bevo. We got beer. Got all the necessary makings of a fine show.
Indeed.
All right, so John, why don't you tell me about your quick experiment. So we said you were concerned about the possibility of foaming and what effect it might have on beer, and then take us from there. You went ahead and ran a quick experiment. Describe the experiment.
So what I did was, it was just very, very sophisticated. I took a 1 liter soda bottle and ran into the tap, or out of the tap, and just cracked the tap open just so that it would foam the beer as it came out. The exact opposite of what you want to do. I trained my children at an early age. The taps have 2 positions, full on and full off. And it was really awesome when they could read.
Yeah, how long did it take your 2-year-old to bring you a proper pint?
Not very long. Quick learner. In fact, when they would apologize if they didn't bring me 2 fingers of foam.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Dad, I'll do better next time. I was like, all right.
Well, the beatings help.
That does. Yeah, I'm never going to spank my children lasted till they were 2. And I was like, screw that shit.
You're like, you call that a pour? Ah!
So I basically filled that 1 liter bottle with foam as much as I could. So it was, 80% foam and just a little beer on the bottom, and capped it real quick, put it in the fridge, and let it settle for, half a day, and then came back down and repeated, trying to create as much foam as I could, and just letting it settle down. And it took about 4 or 5 tries to get the 1 liter completely full of beer. And then I put a little carbonator cap on it, put it in my fridge, and recarbonated it. And then I also took the exact same beer and used the beer gun and filled it into a couple bottles, and I have brought those with me to California.
Well, and what's interesting, here, I'll hold it up to the camera for the listeners. Here is the foamed one. And I know they're not the same container, but Bevo says yes. I've got it lined up. The one in the bottle with the beer gun filling is crystal clear. And the one in the PET bottle, you can see, is very cloudy. And it's interesting. It's the same beer, but just the handling method, by foaming it, this one has precipitated out some particulate matter. You said that it had all settled to the bottom on your flight out here. It got shaken up again.
When it was in my fridge, it was it was still that crystal clear beer, but it had little sediment at the bottom of the bottle. And then on my flight out here, our friends at Southwest were kind enough to shake that all up for me.
Oh, yeah. They'll do that for you.
Yeah.
Well, they want to make sure that anything in the bag will break. or anything in the bag will be well taken care of. All right, so we had the assumption that the particulate matter that's now in suspension, but it will eventually settle out again, was all proteins of some kind.
Insoluble or precipitated proteins.
Yes.
Right.
And John, so you did some research. You read Charlie's book on foam and sent an email to Charlie, and tell me about that.
There's been a popular homebrewing myth or guideline, rule of thumb, regarding foam only once proteins. This was the theory that anytime a protein,
you say myth, it's not a myth. Come on,
right? It's a theory. It's a
fact, Jack.
All right. So,
hey,
foam
Charlie,
only once. What does it mean? Well, there's when a protein forms a bubble. The theory was that, or is that, that protein can only form that bubble once. After that, it's incapable of forming another bubble. And so that, the thought is that too much foaming in the fermenter, too much foaming during transfer, too much foaming on pouring, and other, beer brewing processes can ruin the head retention of a beer, or, impair it. So the foam only once, people would, shake the beer up and then shake it up again. Hey, look, it still has foam. John's experiment where he foamed it excessively into the bottle and then it was able to recarbonate it, would
and
seem to suggest...
and this will be a live demonstration of the results.
Yeah. Would seem to suggest that, that there's... that foam only once is not correct. But I think the story goes a little deeper than that after the research that we did over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you want to pour the beer or
We're
show it to
find
people.
out.
Let's pour the beer.
Let's pour the beer.
Well, and I think the fact that one is just horribly cloudy and has chunks. I think with the beer being the same, and it was clear beer that was poured in there. I think that is indicative of something coming out of solution. It's got to be the head-forming proteins. Oh, look at that nice foam stand right there.
So there we have the control beer.
Mm-hmm. Brilliantly clear. Nice little tight white foam on the top.
I would never bring a non-brilliantly clear beer to Jamil because he'd just totally give me shit.
Not filtered, though, right?
No.
Yeah. You can have clear beer without filtration.
I had more yeast than beer in that thing just to make damn sure I had enough.
Mm. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Very nice, very nice.
Citra Pale.
Yep. Nice pale ale. Nice firm bitterness. Well, a little bit of kind of a sweet caramel malty. Nice hop presence. Okay.
Alrighty. Let's get on to the same beer that I molested.
By molesting, you mean foaming, not something else.
Actually,
that opening is kind of small.
Many years ago, we went through the Tennessee Rocky Mountain National Forest, and it was getting dark, and we're trying to find out where the damn places we're going to camp. And so it says turn on the park radio or whatever. So we turn on the park radio. The first thing that comes on is do not feed or molest the animals. Only Tennessee where they need to tell you not to molest the animals.
Only you can prevent animal molestation in Tennessee.
We did find the campground. All righty.
Just follow the litter of used condoms, and there you were. Oh, he's making an effort at making that foam.
Okay, you pour it.
Well, pour it the same way you poured the first one.
Am I pouring it?
The first that one over there, you were like lifting up and going for it. I would say that clearly the head retention not the same. It's already dissipated on this one.
Yeah,
it's already
not
matching,
quite the same.
Already matching the one that the one that you poured earlier. Already still has better head.
And that is consistent with experience too.
This one's higher carbonation too.
Yeah.
Well, that's odd because it was on the exact same CO2 system.
You're saying the now hazy beer has less head retention than the first?
Oh yeah,
than the control.
Yep.
Well, that does stand to reason.
I think so. Maybe.
Close.
The one out of the I'll tell you what it is. The one out of the plastic bottle, it's much thinner. Carbonation's coming through. Doesn't have the creaminess of the first one. A lot more body out of the first one. Body's missing in the second one.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's subtle, but it's there.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I do daily: is taste beers and try and find subtle differences between them and identify them and explain them. Yeah. Yeah. The second one, you can tell the body's gone. I mean, not tremendously gone, but it's definitely less, and the CO2 comes out much more prickly because of that. Made it seem like it was higher carbonation. Yeah, wow, that's dramatic. At least to me it is. Side by side? I may not think about it.
These don't taste like the same beer.
Right. And it's like a mouthfeel.
It's definitely a mouthfeel thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because it's been sitting in a Sprite bottle.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Wow. Yeah, I drink the first one. Way over I drink the second one. Ooh.
So to me, the interesting thing here is you do
Hold
get
them up again.
You do get a reasonable amount of head that pours on that the abused one.
Reasonable.
It drops fairly quickly.
Right. Look, I mean,
what about the bubble size?
Look at the difference.
The foam bubble size. It looks bigger on the
abused one. Abused one, and
the
it's much tighter and smaller on
the bubbles were
on the
bigger.
first one. Look at the clarity difference. That's dramatic.
Yeah, but again, that's because I shook the crap out of it inadvertently on the way here.
Yeah, but you could have shook the non-abused one up.
Yes, but it didn't have sediment to begin with.
Right, but the sediment comes from abusing the beer. Right?
Indeed, yes.
Because the beer, you filled them the same, essentially, or it was the same source of beer initially.
Yep, absolutely.
And there was no sediment in the beer.
No, and that was the thing that surprised me is there was
blew up the foam.
There was a noticeable amount when I first picked it up, took it upstairs to pack it. I was like, holy shit! There's a whole bunch of chunklets floating in this thing.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like there was just a little. It was very noticeable.
Right, and it's noticeable now as it's dispersed throughout the beer again and hasn't settled back out.
Mm-hmm.
That the head forming proteins have busted apart, coagulated, and dropped to the bottom, or got mixed throughout the beer. I think that this, and the reason I love this is because I'll tell you what. I'll tell you when.
Tell us what.
Well, I'll tell you first. I want to tell you about one of our fine sponsors that carries more Blichmann products on the web than anyone else.
Would that be my friends at Great Fermentation?
Absolutely. They provide same-day shipping on some of the main items. Most vendors can take up to 3 weeks to ship a Blichmann product, but Great Fermentation's got it like right away. If you're jonesing, if you're drinking a lot during this show, and you want to order some Blichmann gear, get over to Great Fermentations and get it out to you like tomorrow, same day. If you wake up and you're like early in the morning, just send it. They'll get it out to you. And they're well trained on Blichmann products. I bet you know that. I bet you trained some of those people at Great Fermentations.
Indeed, they've come up to see the facility, and I've like I said, they've been my homebrew store since 1992.
See, and I think it's that kind of attitude that also enables them to have great customer service. When you're willing to take the time to go and visit a manufacturer and learn about the products and really want to be like the best, it shows in everything else you do. So Great Fermentations, check them out, greatfermentations.com on the web. Lots of good goodies out there, lots of the Blichmann gear. Check them out today. All right, let's take a short break. When we come back, I will tell you what is so awesome about this experiment right after this.
A few things happened 30 years ago.
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate, or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and the gadget guy Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California, and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. Do you like to mash using efficient fly sparging, but would like an easy way to heat your strike and sparge water? Enter the new Brewer's Edge electric mash water heater, a plug-in, anywhere, precisely controlled heater for strike and sparge water. Ditch the fumes and second burner and make mashing easy. Go to williamsbrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy the Williams way.
Back to the two guys that know how to turn beer into beer. This is Brew Strong.
Well, I want to tell you also about our good friends from Lamont. They're also like a Midwest kind of guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they exude Midwest.
Even though they're from Maryland.
All right, so they exude like East Coast.
Yeah, there you go.
No, if you're from California, is it like
the
California
entire,
and then the rest is the Midwest?
Yes, the entire rest of the country is Midwest from California. Yeah. No, but I'll tell you this because they're so nice.
They are.
They're nice. They're hardworking. They're smart. They have good products. They believe in their customers and customer service, which is totally cool. You can't hang out with you can't hang out with the Lamont guys without kind of getting that sense of, customers important. We want a quality product. We want to give, people value. We want to make sure everything's right. That's what comes out of your mouth. That's what comes out of their mouth. That's what they believe. That's what you believe. And to me, that's a Midwest kind of attitude or ethic, which I love.
Yeah. We're good, laid-back people.
Yeah, well, no, I think it's an honest way of doing business versus there's a real kind of, Steve will talk about the hipster experience here. Where
expand?
Where I don't know. It doesn't seem. It seems a little more. I don't want to say fake, but that Midwest kind of attitude is very honest, and it shows in the products. If you're considering water testing or treatment or anything like that, you got to go with the Lamont. They got the Brew Lab Plus, and the Brew Lab Pro. At our brewery, we use the Brew Lab Pro. That's what we use at Heretic. Ease of use, I tell you, that thing is so easy to use, and it's accurate. We get the same accuracy as when we sent our water out for testing, and we're getting quicker results. We get them, right then and there. We don't have to wait a week to find out what our results were. We can measure and make our adjustments right then and there that morning. Right. And even in the brew lab, you're getting 50 tests approximate, or essentially
right.
per
at least 50 tests, at least 50, per kit.
And you probably get a lot more depending on
that's
on
like
how
2 to 3
hard your
years
water
worth.
Oh yeah,
for a lot of homebrewers,
yeah,
it's fantastic. I think well worth it. For the Brew Lab, you're like $125. The Brew Lab Plus at $195. That's $70 for a really nice pH meter.
With a pH meter?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's $70 for
that's a
deal
for
the pH meter that my guys love so much they've abandoned the other ones.
And I tell you, I can vouch that the quality of pH meters varies all over the map.
Oh, yeah. This is like a $115 pH meter. You get it for $70. So if you don't have a pH meter and you're not testing your water, go out right now, buy yourself a BrewLab Plus. If you don't think it was worth the money, you can go ahead and kick me in the balls next time you see it. Well, actually, tell me you're going to kick me in the balls so I can kind of like tense up before it happens.
Oh,
like
I thought
Houdini.
you were saying so you can get them back out of your wife's purse.
Yeah. My wife doesn't like that. But, Houdini died because somebody didn't tell him before they were going to hit him. I'm just saying, you got to let me tense up my sack before you kick me in the balls. Right? No, I think it's well worth it. Check them out, Lamont.com. Palmer, you approve? I approve.
Yes.
I think it's a great product. That's the one to get right there. All right. Back to foam. I was going to say, the thing that's so amazing to me is, like, if you're a home brewer and you're, wondering what's happening and why you're getting some haze sometimes that's unexplained, or I've had people, contact me, go, look, my beer was brilliantly clear. I package it, and now it's got a haze to it. It could be a number of things. It could be like a chill, a permanent chill haze. It could be bacterial, and a lot of times I lean towards the bacterial. Somebody tells me a beer hazed up after packaging, some time after packaging. Mm-hmm. The beers were clear when I poured them, for the first month, and now they're hazy. It's like, well, bacterial. But something like this, it's like, well, through my packaging process, now they're I've got this haze. And I think it also, when you're trying to fill something, not that it's 100% critical to have minimal foaming, not that it's, that critical. It's like hot side aeration. A little hot side aeration, no problem, because fermentation is going to take care of that.
Just don't be stupid.
Right. A little bit of foaming, through your processes is fine. Just don't go nuts on it. And there's still a lot of head forming proteins available, so you'll be fine. But just be aware. Here's what happens: your head retention does drop. Those particles are formed, and if those get shaken up in the beer, that is hazy. Body is lost. It's fascinating. So, John, you talked to Charlie, and you did some reading and some research. I was too busy to really study further, but I know Charlie had told me that the proteins.
There's
really
another four-letter
4
word
months.
that would go with busy.
Lazy?
That would also be lazy. There you go. Yeah.
No, I knew that.
I'm not
right
saying
off
there's
the
a
bat.
correlation. Just stating an
I'll
observation.
live my life for a month, and you tell me if I'm lazy. All right, John, tell us about how foam actually forms, and what the process is, and why it's forming this gritty particulate.
Sure. Okay. Well, you've got foam is a function of the protein in beer. The same proteins that give the beer body and also contribute to beer haze. These are all kind of what we call medium-sized proteins, or 40 kDa kilodalton size molecules. You have beer hoardine, which is the main storage protein in barley. You also have other proteins given such colorful names as protein Z and LPT1. These are the primary building blocks in beer foam. And in fact, if you compare a foam structure to like a steel skyscraper that they're building, the big girders are your big proteins, your hoardines, and so on. Your LPT1, your protein Z, these are your high strength struts that go between the main girders, kind of stiffen up the structure.
The purlins.
Yeah. And then you've got your iso-alpha acids from the hops. Those act as kind of like gusset plates in this analogy. They go into the joints between the proteins and help bind them together. And then you have metal cations. Metal ions such as calcium, zinc, magnesium, and other metal ions in the water and in the beer. These act as rivets. So the combination of these ions, the isoalpha acids, the LPT1 and protein Z, all act to bind these other proteins together to form foam, to form the bubbles. Now, what's interesting, and what I didn't fully appreciate until I talked to Charlie about it this weekend, was that these proteins, actually unfold. They change their structure to link up with the LPT1, with the isoalpha acids, when they form the bubble wall.
So essentially denaturing.
Yes, well, yeah, and denaturing, what it means to denature a protein is you change its structure.
Mm-hmm.
You change the structure of the protein or the structure of the molecule, and in doing so, you actually change its properties. That's one of the things about organic chemistry and so on. When you're talking about these, organic molecules, is that the structure of the molecule has as much to do with the properties of the molecule as does its actual composition. So when these proteins form the bubble wall, they denature, they unfold, they link up with these other compounds in the beer and form the bubble wall. And that's why you have, foam has some feel to it. You can press against it, and it has structure and so on.
Yeah, you can. Have you ever pressed up against some foam, John?
I don't know if I want to go down that path with you.
You've done a foam pressing. All right.
Okay,
Keep going,
so you
John.
got your foam.
I have this instant urge to just kind of back up.
Do you like gladiator movies? Yeah, keep going.
Lipids are fats and oils and fatty acids. These are things other than proteins, and they are other hydrophobic substances. That is, water hating, and they actually get in there and break up the foam structure.
Mm-hmm.
So you have. Everybody knows how you can have dirty glassware that'll break down the foam quickly. The head retention will fade fast.
Those nights when you're wearing lipstick, and drinking beer,
growing up actually, and pouring
you wore
a lot
of lipstick.
foamy. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, and actually pouring a lot of foamy beer and just being around a lot of foamy beer. A trick that we all kind of did was put your finger behind your ear, just natural oils.
No, that sounds delicious. I'm just saying.
Put your finger in your beer, and the foam kind of dissipates a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Just
surface tension.
I thought I'd share.
Good Midwest kegger tip there.
I used my nose oil so that way I could, win those damn chugging contests. Have all that foam in the way.
See, there you go.
There you go.
Sounds
so
the old days of
Those really help
Dubuque
to break
Star
up
beer.
the foam structure.
You realize I'm a little OCD about this whole cleanliness thing. I don't know. It's just not working for me. All right, so continue, John.
Okay, so when the foam structure breaks down, what you have, these proteins that made up the foam are no longer soluble in the beer. They don't just go back into solution in the beer and ready to foam up again. So they really do foam only once because you've changed that molecular structure. And this debris, if you think about, smashing up a skyscraper, now you got all these strange looking pieces, and it all, falls into solution,
right,
or falls to the bottom of the glass.
Doesn't
and
go
that's
back
what
into
John
girders
observed.
and rivets that can be reused. They're used up and it's broken apart. Yeah,
floating around.
They've reacted. They're locked into that structure, but you just got all these odds and ends laying on the bottom of the glass now. And it's interesting when John was saying how much sediment he saw in the beer, after it had been recarbonated and sat in the fridge for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie had commented that they saw this same behavior in beers that was canned and sent to Asia, exported to Asia, where they would crack open the can and pour the beer, and they had really cloudy, hazy beer. And it's because during transit, I guess in the early days of canning, they weren't getting the cans very full, and so it'd be lots of agitation. It would foam up. These, and upon foaming, change that structure, become insoluble, and then the foam would break up and fall to the bottom of the can. So
that's fascinating because on Twitter, somebody sent me a picture of. They said, "Hey, this craft lager in this can." They sent me a picture of the beer. They go, "What's all this chunks at the bottom?" And I'm like, "Well, I can't really tell, based off of a picture. If you send me some, I can take a look at it in the lab and then tell you what it is. It might be yeast, but it might be." And this is the first time I said it. I said, "It might be from the foaming in the can, falling out as precipitate." Which is, something we've learned. I think that's just fascinating. And this is the beauty of doing these kinds of experiments. It's like, well, maybe you don't know the answer for why, but you can at least raise some questions that people can, come across and explain.
I've often said, I don't know why it works, just that it does.
It's just that's what you tell your wife. I know.
Just push that button there. Yeah.
It'll work. Trust me. One blue pill, I'm ready to go.
If the satellites don't fall out of the sky, everything's good. Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So in foam, you do have foam only once proteins, but especially in craft beer, there's a lot of extra protein in solution, able to form foam again.
Right.
And so what the experiment John did is kind of an extreme case where he foamed it up several times, agitated it on Southwest Airlines.
You foamed the beer once, really. I mean, the beer that was coming out.
Each time it was foamed, but it was severely. I did everything I could to get it to foam.
Right, you were foaming out of the faucet into the bottle. But once the bottle was full, you didn't foam that bottle of beer again.
No, I did not shake the crap out of the bottle or any of that other stuff.
Essentially just foamed once. And it's a dramatic difference, John. The body of the beer is different. The head retention's different. The clarity is wildly different. It's significant.
Yeah. No, it wasn't like just like a normal tap pour.
Right. You were cracking it open, trying to get it to just shoot foam into the container.
Right. Yeah. So
that's essentially foaming at once.
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's substantial. I think. It's not. I would not take foaming lightly, based off of this. I think it's something significant. I'll tell you what else is significant. John, have you been to the Winter Brews Fest? It's now the Spring Brew Fest because it got pushed out.
I have not, although I love winter.
Yes.
I love the cold.
Well, normally it's like January. This year it's going to be Saturday, April 2nd. In lovely Todos Santos. Hey, I dug it up. The brain cells aren't that dead.
Where is Todos Santos?
It's directly across the street from the Hop
across the street.
It's directly across from the Hop Grenade. Beautiful park. It's a wonderful quad with.
Is that all the stuff that they got? All the trucks and food vendors.
Yeah,
and all that?
They have that all the time. If you come down to the Hop Grenade, they probably. Don't mention food to Bevo. She's going to leave in the middle of the show.
Oh, yeah, I'm gone.
Anyway.
Bye, Felicia.
It's going to be Saturday, April 2nd. And there's a ton of great breweries that are going to show up there, including Heretic Brewing Company. We have a lot of fun there. They've got, food. They've got music. They got lots of great beers. It's easy to get to. There's BART. They got the bus station. They got the Uber. They got the Lyft. You can walk 3 blocks from Concord BART. Anybody who has BART station near him should get their ass on the BART Saturday, April 2nd, and go to the Spring Brew Fest. You get the tickets online, bnbrewfest.com. And
$40 in advance, $50 at the door.
There you go. Save yourself $10. Get them in advance. You won't be sorry. That is a great brew fest, I must admit. There's, they encourage us to bring some special beers. They've got plenty of breweries. And,
Raz Brewing's going to be there too, right?
I would hope so.
Now, this is a winter fest? A winter?
Yes.
But it's not cold.
Spring.
Okay, that's
they had
different.
to move it to spring because San Francisco Beer Week changed and moved into their slot, and they didn't want to, mess things up, so they graciously changed to spring.
I am lovingly referring to it as the Sprinter Brews Fest.
It's the Sprinter Brewfest. Yes. Am I slurring my speech now? So noon to 4 p.m., what else are you doing? Go check it out. All right, let's take a short break. When we come back, we will wrap up with more foaminess right after this.
Ken Grossman of Sierra Nevada Brewing Company says making great beer is hard. Making the same great beer every day is harder. Brewers Publications announces its latest release for breweries of any type and size. Quality Management, an essential guide for brewers by Mary Pelletieri. Proper quality management for small, regional, and national breweries is critical. Whether you are an established business or brand new, learn the best ways to create and manage a quality system in your brewery. This book will guide you in developing a comprehensive program that will grow with your brewery, help ensure quality processes in the brewery, and continue providing great beer for your fans. Quality management for breweries is critical for continued success. This guidebook teaches you to integrate quality management in every level of the operation. It will guide you in developing a comprehensive program to ensure quality processes in your brewery. Quality Management, an essential guide for brewers, now available from Brewers Publications. Learn more at brewerspublications.com. Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, they're amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer, whether for yourself or as a gift. When you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Say hello to my little friend.
You've heard about White Labs Pure Pitch Yeast. Pure Pitch is yeast grown right in its final packaging. That means yeast that has never been exposed to the environment. And White Labs Pure Pitch Yeast for homebrewers is now available to everyone at homebrew retailers nationwide. Easy to use, perfectly sized, and ready to pitch. White Labs yeast packaged using their Flex Cell process ensures the purest yeast on the market. Visit whitelabs.com to learn more about Pure Pitch, Flex Cell technology, and how it's created. Then visit a homebrew retailer near you for your own perfectly sized package of Pure Pitch yeast. And you can say hello to your own little friend. www.whitelabs.com.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states. Plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small. Single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy shit.
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Learning to brew has never been so disgusting. This is Brew Strong.
Well, this is what I love about my Blichmann is, during the break, we're talking about, okay, here's some other experiments that we could do. And the fascination on, bottle fill levels and things like that. And so one of the things I'm going to try at Heretic, we've got a good wrist shaker. I can strap on a bottle or a can, and we can run that thing for a week and see, afterwards if it's hazy, like we're talking about.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
That would be interesting, too. And we got a couple other interesting things that we're talking about. Some more experiments we can do. Yes. I'm just saying. It's good to be a beer geek in the year
of the golden age of brewing.
What year is it?
2027.
There you go, 2027. Oh, I lived much longer than I thought I would. All right. I'll tell you what. If you want to live, if you want to experience the best things in life, I suggest... If you want more, I would suggest going over to adamandeve.com and checking out what they've got to offer there. You pick up something, you're going to get 10 free gifts. I'm telling you, you're going to get 6 free adult DVDs. You're going to get free shipping. And you're going to get a free gift for her, a free gift for him, and a free gift for the both of you.
Damn.
I can't tell you how much better that could be. All you got to do is use the offer code Jamil, Jamil, at adamandeve.com. They got a wide array of stuff, good pricing, good selection, all quality gear. There's even ratings on the site for this stuff. Go check it out. This is what Bevo uses. She shops there like weekly. Yeah, right. She is.
Yes.
I still believe it should be like this, Bevo. I'm old school.
No sword crosses.
Anyways, go check them out. AdamandEve.com. Use the offer code Jamil, Jamil. Get yourself free shipping and 9 other free gifts. All right. So, what have we concluded? We concluded that foam proteins, are
work only once.
Once.
But fortunately, there's a lot of protein.
There's a lot of them, but so you have to kind of be stupid to really mess up your beer. But it is possible, and potentially, it does have an impact. So you might want to kind of minimize foaming, when you have a choice versus just letting it foam like a maniac.
Well, essentially, you have to foam up every part of the beer, pretty much, right? Just at least once.
This goes back to when you're bubbling oxygen through your wort. You're using up those proteins, yes?
Just even in high Kreuzen.
Right. Fermentation's using some of them up. So a lot of them are being used up throughout the process. So...
take care.
Yeah, just,
take reasonable care.
Right, take some reasonable care. Not to freak out, but it is a real thing.
Yeah.
There you go. Anything else to add? Should we wrap this up?
I would say if you're going to be packaging beers for competition, don't just fill it up from the tap. Mm-hmm. Use a beer gun, use another kind of counter pressure filler, and watch that foam, because that could translate into haze. If you take a long time filling that bottle up and waiting for the foam to go down before it's completely full, that's going to translate into a hazy beer.
We at Heretic were able to get a beer gun filled bomber down to about 30 to 35 parts per billion.
That's pretty impressive.
That's
not per million, per billion.
Per billion. That's what you're going to get off of a quality bottling line. Off of a Maheen, you can expect 100 to 200 parts per billion. So with a beer gun, you can actually do better than a lot of the commercial guys are doing. Yeah, you buy yourself a $1 million Crohn's, you probably get down into the 15 parts per billion range, 15 to 20. You buy yourself a $100 beer gun, you're in the $75 beer gun. I don't know. I don't pay for this stuff. I am. Do you know who I am? No.
He's beneath that.
Actually, I've bought every beer gun I actually have. Nobody has ever given me a beer gun, John. Nobody.
You never asked. Otherwise, I would have, and you know it.
Oh,
but you'd have felt like a mooch, and I would have really enjoyed that.
Yes. So, but we were able to get down into the 30s. It takes a bunch of gas in, and some fine work, but you can get it down into the 30s. And even if you don't get it down into the 30s, still works pretty darn good. I think at the worst, we're up in like Maheen range, we're up in the 100 parts per billion, which is still acceptable. So, just when you're doing your competition fills, lots and lots of gas, take your time. Fill that thing from the bottom. Works beautifully. Beer gun. There's your ad for a beer gun. I'm telling you.
All right.
I'm a convinced customer. I've filled 10,000 bottles not using a beer gun, using the old counter pressure thing, and I use a beer gun. I don't use the counter pressure thing anymore.
We had a guy at the Craft Brewers Conference come up to us, said he had filled over 100,000 bottles with his beer gun.
I ganged together like 4 beer guns, and we filled 5,000 bottles using that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we're great. They bolt together really easy, and you just, you rivet the fronts together with the blind rivets, and you're off and running. That's all it is.
Sweet.
Yeah. No, I think that's the way to go. All right. Thank you all. I think it's another fine show. I think, John, you're clearly getting your money's worth on this. I think we're providing information to the homebrew.
Finally getting some good knowledge. Wait a minute. Am I providing the good knowledge we're getting?
Yeah, just listen to the show. You will get so much knowledge out of this show that you can't go wrong. And we really do appreciate your sponsoring the show.
We do.
And I think all the people that listen should appreciate it as well. Go to BlichmannEngineering.com. Check out what they've got to offer. Ask your local brew shop. It's like, hey, I want some Blichmann gear. Buy it from your local brew shop. It's good stuff. And, make sure you send John an email. Tell him how large you think it is. Do that.
And thanks for listening, everyone. Love to support the show. Love homebrew.
All right. And you can also support the Brewing Network. Go to thebrewingnetwork.com/store. There's lots of goodies there to buy. They got hats. They got hoodies. They've got growlers. They've got sandals. They've got neckties. They've got no, we're out of neckties. All right. Well, until then, brew strong, everybody.
Brew strong.